All right. So how's everybody doing today?
Good. Amen.
Good. I'll try not to be long up here. My voice feels good, so that kind of a little bit. So in Genesis, we kind of get the story of two nations here, but we also get a story of bad parenting, bad planning. And they're not really planning for their children's futures, arranging stuff like they could have, and instead it leads to conflict, and it leads to the two nations, or whatever, as the family kind of splits because of that. Let's kind of take a look and see what all happens here. Starting off with, we go with Genesis 25, 20 through 28. We start off with Isaac. Now, Isaac is the son of Abraham. So, and his mother was also Sarah. Abraham and Sarah, of course, they had the little thing where they went to Egypt, and Abraham pretended that Sarah was his sister or whatever, and the Pharaoh started liking the sister or whatever, and his house was getting plagued or whatever, and he was like, what you guys doing here? Because they weren't honest about their relationship, because Abraham was afraid that somebody might kill him because Sarah was beautiful, and so he didn't, be honest with it, he didn't trust God to protect him or whatever, and so he was lying about his relationship with his wife. He was saying that she was actually his sister. That lying kind of continues through the family, like just not always telling the full truth, and it can build up and destroy a family. So you have Isaac here. He was 40 years old when he took Rebekah as wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Paddan Aram, the sister of Laban the Syrian. Now Isaac pleaded with the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord granted his plea, and Rebekah his wife conceived. The children struggled within her, and she said, if all is well, why am I like this? So she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said to her, two nations are in your womb. Two people shall be separated from your body. One people shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. So when her days were fulfilled for her to give birth, indeed there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red. He was like a hairy garment all over. So they called his name Esau. And after his brother came out, his hand took hold of Esau's heel, so his name was called Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when she bore them. So the boys grew, and Esau was a skillful hunter, a man of the field, but Jacob was a mild man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he ate of his game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. So right now we have the parents, they're playing favorites. You have Esau, who Isaac loves, and you have Rebekah, who loves Jacob, whatever. And so they have their favorites. They're playing favorites. But that's not good. Leading to favorites creates conflict and stuff like that. You see, like, oh, this person really likes you, whatever, and you're giving them all the benefits. This other person over here, gets jealous and anger, and resentment can build up, and other feelings, whatever. It's not a good relationship there. It's not a good dynamic to create in a family. Our Heavenly Father loves us all equally. He has something planned for each one of us. He's not playing favorites with us. He loves us all each. And we all can have the same relationship with Him. We just have to choose to talk to Him. And He will happy to have the same relationship with us that He has with everybody else. It's up to you to talk to Him. Unlike here, with Isaac and Rebekah, who are playing favorites. Not really giving their children a chance or whatever, and so And then we have a little, Jacob, being a little bit of an entrepreneuring person, taking after Rebekah's side of the family, a little bit there. You have in Genesis 25, verses 29 to 34. Now Jacob cooked a stew, and Esau came in from the field, and he was weary. And Esau said to Jacob, please feed me with that same red stew, for I am weary. For his name was called Edmund. So Esau was out in the field. He was currently working really hard, and he was hungry. He obviously didn't make plans to properly eat and stuff like that, so he came in weary and tired, and he wanted some food, whatever his brother was cooking, and he was like, hey, I'd like some. He could have said please, but he was like, hey, well, actually he did. He said, please feed me. He was like, asked him, hey, would you please feed me? I'm weary or whatever. Trick your brother to help you out. And Jacob responds, but Jacob said, sell me your birthright as of this day. The dude comes in, he asks you kindly for some stew or whatever, because he's tired or whatever, and you're like, yeah, give me your birthright. Mm-hmm. You got that favoritism playing up there, resentment between them, whatever, jockeying there. And Esau said, look, I'm about to die. So what is his birthright to mean? Esau is like, you know what? He feels so tired and weary that he's about to die. Now, personally speaking, usually if you can voice those opinions, you're probably not about to die from starvation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. So I think he's being a little dramatic there. But he's got a point there. If you're about to die 2 seconds from now, then your birthright doesn't mean a whole lot to you. Maybe he thought his brother was joking. I don't know. And then Jacob said, "Swear to me as of this day." So he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. And Jacob gave Esau bread and stew of lentils. Then he ate and drank, arose, and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So he kind of like wound up selling his birthright. And maybe he thought his brother really wasn't serious. Maybe he really was just that famished and just that tired and weird or whatever that he couldn't think and compound it or whatever. Mm-hmm. He thought he really was going to die. I don't know. There's no indication about how smart he was. So Jacob clearly was a very smart guy, but Esau was just a work in the field guy. There was not a whole lot saying about, how wise he was. So maybe he thought he really was going to die. I don't know. But here you go. This relationship here, it just simply comes into the field working, whatever he asks for him to do. And instead of being like, yeah, sure, here you go, brother, whatever. No, give me your birthright. This is fighting, whatever, because they started to build this favoritism in the family. Like, well, dad loves you, but mom loves me, whatever. And so they have that, and they're starting to create this fighting between the two siblings. And it gets worse. And it also just shows some bad planning here. So Isaac gets old, all right? And in chapter 27, Isaac gets old, all right? He is old. He's getting ready to die. So it's time to let everybody know the will. So let's gather everybody up to go over the will and be like, here's what you're going to get, here's what you're going to get, here's what you're going to get, here's what you're going to get. Decide, deal with any arguments right then and there, and all that stuff. No, he doesn't use wisdom like that. Again, why keep things secrets and playing favorites or whatever? He goes and asks Esau to go out and make him go catch some game and make him a delicious dish, and then he's going to give him a blessing. A very lovely blessing. Doesn't say anything to his other son, Jacob. Doesn't plan to have everybody together to go and do it. It's just between him and Esau, and he's going to give him a blessing, whatever. This nice big blessing, whatever, for the family. As passing on everything to him. That's not planning. That's not planning for the future. That's not planning for your family. You're keeping things in the dark. You should have been gather everybody up. So let's see what happens here. Let's see how this all comes down. So now it came to pass when Isaac was old and his eyes were so dim that he could not see, that he called Esau, his older son, and said to him, "My son." And he answered, "Here I am." Then he said, "Behold, now I am old. I do not know the day of my death. Now therefore, please take your weapons, your quiver, your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me, and make me savory food such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die." So here he goes. He's sending his son off to go get the food so he may bless them before he dies. Doesn't say anything about his son Jacob. Doesn't want to gather him. Just you. Go out there, get himself. Now Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to Esau, and Esau went to the field to hunt game to bring him. So Rebekah spoke to Jacob her son, saying, "Indeed, I heard your father speak to Esau, your brother, saying, Bring me game and make savory food for me, that I may eat it and bless you in the presence of the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to what I command you. Go now to the flock and bring me from there 2 choice kids of the goats, and I will make savory food from them for your father, such as he loves. Then you shall take it to your father, that he may eat it, and that he may bless you before his death." And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, "Look, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth-skinned man. Perhaps my father will kill me, and I shall be seen to be a deceiver to him." Luckily, he's like, well, if he kills me, he'll feel like I'm a deceiver, but not like my action as is, whatever. I'm not trying to deceive my father outright or whatever. It's only if he touches me and figures out, then I'll seem like a deceiver to him. I am actually trying to deceive my dad. So it's like no thought about the fact that what he's doing is actually, he is trying to deceive his father. It's kind of wrong, and it's not right. And his only concern is, what if I get caught? What if I get caught? That is how much this relationship has been fractured, if you will, between him and his father, whatever, because of how much he loves and favors Esau over Jacob, whatever. That his other son is like, not really worried about the fact that what he's doing is really wrong. He shouldn't be deceiving your father. It's just, he's concerned about what if dad catches me doing it. If dad catches me, then I'm going to be in trouble. No concern about the fact that it is wrong in itself, whatever. I mean, with my kids, they go and they do something or whatever, and we tell them, tell the truth no matter what it is. Tell the truth what you did. Don't lie about it. You did something wrong. Tell the truth. All right. Yes, there are consequences for those actions or whatever. You don't lie to mommy and daddy. You don't go around lying to people in general. Period. And so tell us the truth, whatever. Because the consequences, if you lie to us, it's going to be a lot worse than you just tell us the truth, whatever. That's just very important value. So here, as you can see here, no concern about lying to his parents. No concern about lying to his dad. It's okay with that. He's concerned about getting caught. And it's just like one of my little kids or whatever, just like the same thing where sometimes they'll lie because they don't want to get caught doing something wrong. And it's just like, and then it's like, yeah, and I caught you, and they're going to get punished, whatever. It's like, you should have told me the truth to start with, and it might have been less. So, and I shall bring a curse upon myself and not a blessing. So again, he's worried about punishment for doing his action. Not actually worried about lying to his dad. He's just worried about getting caught. But his mother said to him, let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice. So here she is again, too, whatever this whole thing. It's like, only obey my voice. My voice. Don't obey your dad. Don't obey your fathers. Don't even obey God in that sense. Just obey my voice only. And go get them for me. And he went and got them and brought them to his mother. His mother made savory food such as his father loved. Then Rebekah took the choice clothes of her elder son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids and the goats on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck. Then she gave the savory food and the bread, which she had prepared, into the hand of her son Jacob. And so he went into his father and said, my father. And he said, here I am. Who are you, my son? It seems like that voice don't sound right. Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done just as you told me. Please arise, sit and eat of my game, and your soul may bless me. But Isaac said to his son, how is it that you have found it so quickly, my son? He's a little concerned there. He knows how long it takes to go hunting or whatever. And Jacob came back kind of fast there. His son Esau came back kind of quick there. And Isaac's kind of used to lying, so he's kind of like, something don't seem to add up here. And he said, because the Lord your God brought it to me. Isaac said to Jacob, please come near, that I may feel you, my son, whether you are really my son Esau or not. So Jacob went near to Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, for the hands are the hands of Esau. And he did not recognize him, because his hands were hairy like his brother's Esau hands, so he blessed him. And then he said, are you really my son Esau? He said, I am. He said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's game, so that my soul may bless you. So he brought it near to him, and he ate, and he brought them wine, and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, come near now and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his clothing, and blessed him, and said, surely the smell of my son is like the smell of a field, which the Lord has blessed. Therefore may God give you of the dew of the heavens, of the fatness of the earth, and plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be master over your brethren, and let your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be those who bless you. Now it happened, as soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had scarcely gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. He also had made savory food, and brought it to his father, and said to his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's game, that your soul may bless you. So Jacob managed to finish convincing his father to give him a blessing. So Isaac went and pours out a nice little blessing on him. And then Jacob goes on his way. But Esau gets back with the actual real game that he was sent out to go get for his father. And he comes to go get his blessing. And his father Isaac said to him, who are you? So he said, I am your son, your firstborn, Esau. Then Isaac trembled exceedingly and said, who? Where is the one who hunted game and brought it to me? I ate all of it before you came, and I have blessed him, and indeed he shall be blessed. When Esau heard the words of his father, he cried an exceedingly great and bitter cry, and said to his father, bless me also, my father. A little bit of wine here. You're just a grown man or whatever, he's kind of like a little baby here a little bit. But he said, your brother came with deceit, and has taken away your blessing. And Esau said, is he not rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and now look, he has taken away my blessing. And he said, have you not reserved a blessing for me? So here's a good question, where he says, have you not reserved a blessing for me? Here's the thing. Isaac, again, Wasn't planning on gathering all the family around, go around, bless everybody, divide up everything, like here's what you're going to get, here's what you're going to get, lay out everything, make sure all the instructions are clear. Okay, he wasn't planning for his family. He was just playing favorite. His favorite is Esau, so he's just going to give Esau a blessing. And so Esau's like, well, okay, fine, he took that blessing, but don't you got anything left for me? Because in theory, right, what was he planning to do for his son Jacob? Wasn't he going to have a blessing for his son Jacob? Wasn't he going to help take care of his other son? He's got 2 sons, people. Mm-hmm. Yes, he's playing favorites, and he only thinks of Esau, but he's got 2. He's got 2 kids. So he should have something in reserve for Jacob, right? So there should be another blessing. There should be a second blessing. Then Isaac answered and said to Esau, indeed, I have made him your master and all his brethren, and have given him to him as servants. With grain and wine I have sustained him. What shall I do now for you, my son? Doesn't sound like he actually had a plan for Jacob. Didn't sound like he had planned anything for Jacob, whatever. It was like, I'm going to give everything to Esau, and Jacob, you're just going to be stuck. That's not good planning for your family. And Esau said to his father, have you only one blessing, my father? Bless me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Then Isaac his father answered and said to him, behold, your dwelling shall be of the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. By your swords you shall live, and you shall serve your brother. And it shall come to pass, when you become restless, that you shall break his yoke from your neck. God may have a second blessing on there because he wasn't really prepared to give a blessing to Jacob, whatever. So, he didn't really have anything. So Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will kill my brother Jacob. And again, because they were playing so much favorites here or whatever in this family, so much so that now you have the one brother who wants to seek out and kill the other brother. Because they were playing favorites. They were playing games. They were jockeying for this here or whatever. And Isaac wasn't planning things out. He wasn't really planning out the future for his family. He wasn't planning things out for his children. He didn't gather them all up to go over everything. Okay, this is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get. Because guess what? If he gathered everybody together, Jacob wouldn't have been able to deceive him. Everybody would have been there. Esau would have been there. Jacob would have been there. Rebekah could have been there. Everyone would have been there. There would have been no deceptions. Everyone would have been gathered to hear what he had laid out. But he wasn't planning for his family. He wasn't planning for the future. Instead, he was playing favorites, and he was creating strife. And now it's so bad that one brother wants to kill the other one over it, because of all the wrongs and stuff that he's done. And the words of Esau, her older son, were told to Rebekah. So she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, surely your brother Esau comforts himself concerning you by intending to kill you. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, arise. Again, she wants him to obey her voice. Arise, flee to my brother Laban in Haran, and stay with him a few days until your brother's fury turns away. That few days turns out to be a lot of days. Until your brother's anger turns away from you, and he forgets what you have done to him. Then I will send and bring you from there. Why should I be bereaved also of both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob takes a wife of the daughters of Heth, like these who are the daughters of the land, what good will my life be to me? Esau had already taken 2 daughters of the land. Rebekah was not very happy with her daughters-in-laws. They were very much stressing her out. She was not a happy mother-in-law with them. So that was her reason to get Isaac to send Jacob away and protect him from Esau, was to send him off to go to her brother. And so Isaac agrees. So then Isaac called Jacob and blessed him. Here he is. He calls him Jacob again, gives him another blessing, by the way. Doesn't really punish him for deceiving him, by the way. It was like, you deceived me. It's all good. Doesn't give him a punishment for it. Instead, he gives him another blessing and charged him and said to him, you shall not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Paddan Aram, to the house of Bethel, your mother and father, and take yourself a wife from there of the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. So that would be his uncle, and that would be his first cousin, by the way, for those who need clarity about that case, about who he's going to go marry. May God Almighty bless you, and make you fruitful and multiply you, that you may be an assembly of peoples, and give you the blessings of Abraham, to you and your descendants with you, that you may inherit the land in which you are a stranger, which God gave to Abraham. So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Paddan Aram, to Laban, the son of Bethuel the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. So Isaac gives him a blessing again, sends him on his way, whatever, to go find a wife. Again, part of the problem here. They didn't help Esau plan out and pick out a wife for him. They didn't instruct Esau, hey, we want you to marry this type of wife over here, and guidance like that. He just picked two women that he liked in the area, and he married them. And they're not very happy with his wives that he picked, whatever. They had already planned out a wife for Jacob, whatever. So now they're kind of like in a rush here. Rebecca's like, we'll send him off, and he can marry one of his cousins. And so they're sending him off to her brother, whatever, his uncle, to go get, find a wife there and marry that. So they're doing a little bit of planning, but this wasn't planned out ahead. This is just kind of like get you out of the country so you're nice and safe, whatever, before your brother kills you type of leaving, whatever. Not, hey, we planned this for you, whatever, which was not uncommon for people to go and arrange marriages back then. To plan things out for your children. And again, they didn't plan out the wives for the children, so now they got women they don't like as daughter-in-laws. They don't enjoy having them as daughter-in-laws because they're not the same belief system, not the same values, whatever, not the same customs and stuff like that, and it's clashing with them, and so they have a problem with that. And they didn't plan anything for Jacob again either. Lack of planning. They weren't planning for their family in any sense. Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Paddan Aram to make himself a wife from there. Blessed him again. He saw that he was blessed again. Stole his blessing, got a new blessing from his dad, and went to go get his wife, whatever. And that as he blessed him and gave him a charge saying, you shall not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. And that Jacob had obeyed his father and his mother and had gone to Paddan Aram. Also Esau saw the daughters of Canaan did not please his father Isaac. So now he's realized, oh, wait a minute, the daughters of Canaan don't please my dad. So he's like, all right, well, let me go get a new wife. So Esau went to Ishmael and took Mabalatheth, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebajoth, to be his wife, in addition to the wives he had. So he's like, let me add in another wife there, whatever, to these two here. I mean, you can't really quite get rid of the other two. They didn't do anything wrong. It'd be kind of unfair to, back then, have almost get death sentence. So, but now he just goes like, well, since, you don't like these wives, let me go pick up another wife. Maybe you'll like that wife. Maybe I'll get some blessings here or whatever. So he goes and he does that. So Jacob goes, of course, off to the land, and he meets, the lovely daughters, Rachel and Leah. And he winds up having to work 14 years to marry both of them because, again, deceit runs in their family. His wedding night, he gets deceived. He thought he's marrying Rachel. Instead, he marries Leah. I don't know how drunk he was to not realize that they weren't the same woman or whatever, but apparently he was pretty drunk and didn't realize who he was marrying. And so then he got to marry the next one the next week or whatever, but he still had to work another 7 years to earn her. And then he still couldn't leave because he's like doing such a great job. And so then he basically goes and works out a deal, and he kind of, if you will, deliberately, I would say kind of probably works on stealing his sheep or whatever. He's got this whole elaborate breeding thing or whatever, where the strong ones are speckled. He has them breed or whatever, and then they're speckled. So they go to his flock, and the ones that are weak, he doesn't breed those. And so, of course, his master's flock dwindles, whereas the sheep that he has in his flock continue to grow. And so he kind of gets his little wages that way because, again, his wages keep being changed with his uncle. His uncle keeps on changing his wages and stuff like that. Lies and deceits. So much lies and deceits that eventually he winds up having a wrestling match. He finally leaves Laban and starts heading back home, whatever. And on the course home, whatever, he gets in a wrestling match with a man. That man, we believe, is God. He touches his hip and makes him a cripple. Also changes his name from Jacob to Israel. But so much lies and deceit because you cannot sit there and keep lying and being deceitful about stuff and not have it bubble up and manifest in ways. And in his case, it wound up manifesting that he was fighting and having this battle that wound up leaving him crippled. He had to walk with a limp. He wasn't the same self anymore, whatever, because of all that lying and deceit. He couldn't be honest. But the spirit of playing favorites continues to run in his family because he favored and preferred the children of Rebekah, Joseph and Benjamin. So much so that again in his family, the brothers have a fight where all the other brothers rise up against Joseph. Luckily, they didn't kill him, whatever. That was more because of God's plan. Because they could have easily have just killed him, whatever. But instead, they basically wind up selling him off. He goes off in slave trade, and as we know, he winds up in Egypt, where he winds up. God has wonderful plans for him. But again, because of this playing favorites, because of this not planning for your family and taking care of them, and just gather everybody up and tell everybody, hey, this is what you're all going to get. This is how it's going to work. Go over the will. Go over the planning. Discuss, hey, this is the type of wife we expect you to marry, stuff like that within reason. We want to have these type of values for you and raise them up to have the right values. Instead, Esau just went and married 2 women or whatever that apparently he most likely just liked. Because they didn't plan, they didn't instruct the family or whatever. Instead, they had lies and deceits throughout their turmoil, causing problems. So much so that when Israel finally meets his brother Esau, he's scared. He's scared because Esau comes down with 400 men to come and greet him. Mm-hmm. How many people know of your brother comes to greet you with 400 men or whatever? How warm of a feeling does that make you feel to see 400 armed men come to greet you or whatever when you come back from after being gone about 20 years? I don't know about you, but it doesn't make us feel like a warm family reunion. So Israel, hey, he stays way back. He gives a bunch of gifts up front to basically try to bribe his brother and make sure he's somewhat in a good mood by the time he gets to him. So he makes sure he's not the first person that his brother sees, by the way. He makes sure he sees everything else and all the gifts and all the animals and stuff like that. And they're like, hey! And they're all like, yeah, okay, well, hey, let's go back to the house and have a party. He's like, yeah, I'll be on my way, whatever. But we're going to take our time on it. I got to take care of the young people. He's like, well, no, we're going to go slow. I can't push him. I don't want to lose the herd or whatever. And so he's like, we're going to take our time, but we'll meet up back at the house. So his brother's like, all right. So his brother takes off with the men, and he goes in the other direction. He's like, yeah, nope, we ain't going to go that way. We're going to go the other way. Again, lies to his brother because he has no intention now of going back to the family home, basically. He's going to go someplace else. The good news is they managed to, for at least a short little bit of time, come together to say goodbye to their father. In Genesis 35:28-29, now the days of Isaac were 180 years. So Isaac breathed his last and died, and he gathered to his people, being old and full of days. And his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. So they managed to come together and bury them together, and that's basically it. But then after that, Esau, he goes and he actually wants to take in his family, and he moves into a different part of the country. And so he moves away from his brother Jacob, and his brother Jacob moves over there. And they wind up, of course, forming 2 different nations. Of course, Jacob goes on, of course, to lead to the creation of Israel. And then you have Esau, who leads the creation of the Edomites. And so you have the birth of 2 nations there. But this is because their family split up, because their father, Isaac, played favorites. He wasn't honest with his family. He wasn't honest with them. He didn't love them equally or whatever. He played favorites. And he, in a certain extent, they encouraged deceit a little bit in their family. Lying to each other, whatever. Instead of just being honest and gathering everybody up and talking about, this is what we're going to do. This is how everybody's going to get. This is what everybody's going to get. And to be honest about the reading of the will. Instead, they played secrets. And you see it sometimes in the news today, whatever, where people with families, they don't know what's in the will. The will's a secret. And then the will comes out, and then all of a sudden you got fighting between the family and all this other stuff. This all could have been resolved. And you just gather up everybody, told them what's going to happen in the will when you die. This is what you're all going to get. They can be angry at you because you're the one telling them, but they all know what's going to happen, and they can get themselves ready or whatever, and they can take care of things. Yes. Instead, playing secrets and hiding about it. In 1 Timothy, chapter 5, verses 8, anyone who does not provide for their relatives, and especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. Has not provided for it, not planned for it. So you're not taking care of your family. Remember, Isaac there, he didn't really have another blessing prepared for Jacob. He had not provided for his other son. He had 2 sons. And he was only worried about providing for one of them. He wasn't doing that. That is not what God wants. God doesn't work that way, okay? This is a sign of basic. These are people being bad parents. God, on the other hand, our Heavenly Father, that's not him. He plans for each and every one of us. He had a plan for each and every one of these people, whatever, for them. He had a plan for Jacob so that Jacob may go and his numbers increase. He had a plan for Joseph when his brothers turned against him so his numbers may increase, whatever. He had plans for each and every one of these people. And he has plans for each and every one of you if you choose to walk with him. If you choose to open yourself to him and talk to him on a daily basis, accept him in your life, accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior into your heart, he has a plan for you. They have a plan for you. They don't play favorites like that. They want you all up there sitting at the table together. He doesn't love one of us more than the other. He loves us each. And he has something for each one of us planned for us. Because he's a man of his word, and he loves us each and every one of us. So, if you're not already walking with him, as you start walking with him, start talking to him, start accepting him into your life. He has a plan for you. He wants to share with you. He wants to share the inheritance with you. He wants to give you your share of the inheritance. But you have to take that step. You have to open yourself up there. This isn't a case where you have Isaac here playing favorites, or even Jacob playing favorites with his children. No, that's not what God does. He doesn't go around playing favorites like that. Walk with him. Talk with him. Accept him into your life. Let him be your light. Let him shine his light down so you can see the path through the walk. There's an inheritance out there, a blessing for you, each and every one of us. God has a blessing for each and every one of us. That's tailored specifically for each of us. Not, hey, Isaac, let me slap something together here real quick and I'll slap something. No, that's not the case because God has a plan for each and every one of us. He has a blessing perfectly suited for each and every one of us. He's not going to be slapping that together in the last minute because he accidentally gave out your blessing to somebody else. That's not what he's going to do. That's not what he does. So talk to God every day in your life. Reach out to him. Accept the blessings. Accept the inheritance that he has for you. He wants to take care of you. He wants to give you the blessing. But you do have to walk with him. You do have to walk and talk with him. You need to accept him in your life. Let him be your Lord over it. Now, not Rebecca being like, I am the only voice you obey. No, God. Now listen to God and let him guide you. Thank you. Sure, we'll close out there. Dear Heavenly Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name, Lord. Lord, I thank you for each and every one of your blessings that you have for each one of us, Lord. I thank you, Lord, that you have a tailored blessing, Lord, that is specific for each and every one of us who are gifts, Lord. Thank you, Lord, that you prepared an inheritance for each and every one of us, Lord. Lord, you are not playing favorites, Lord. You love each and every one of us, Lord. All we have to do is walk and accept your words, Lord. All we have to do is open our heart and let you in, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for that. Thank you, Lord, that you don't play favorites. Thank you, Lord, that you open each and every one of us, Lord. Thank you, Lord, you love each one of us equally, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for having a blessing for each one of us, Lord. Thank you for your favor being upon each and every one of us, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for your favors and your blessings and your inheritance you have for each one of us, Lord. Lord, we continue to grow us in life and prosper us, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. In the name of Jesus Christ, I always say good. Amen. I turn you over to